before European explorers ever set foot on North American soil, before the Aztecs raised their great temples, before castles dotted medieval Europe, an empire rose on this continent, one so advanced, so enormous, and so mysterious, that historians are still piecing together its story today. An empire that built skyline-sized pyramids, engineered cities larger than medieval London, and ruled the Mississippi River Basin for nearly 2,000 years. Yet almost no one knows its name. So today, on Dude Historian, we are uncovering the Mississippian Civilization, the forgotten empire that shaped North America long before the United States, long before colonial history, long before recorded memory. Before we dive in, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss these untold stories. Let's step into the world of a civilization that time tried its best to erase. Picture the map of North America, not as we see it today, but as it looked over 1,000 years ago. Stretching from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, from the Florida wetlands to the plains of Oklahoma, was a vast cultural network, connected not by written language, not by iron tools, not by horses or wheels, but by something even more powerful. A shared belief system, a shared trade network, and a shared way of life born along the great Mississippi River. This was the world of the Mississippians. They weren't a single kingdom. They weren't a single tribe. They were a civilization, a complex world of cities, chiefdoms, and ceremonial centers that rose slowly beginning around 100 CE, but reached their astonishing peak between 1050 and 1350 CE. The heart of the civilization was a city so large, so organized, and so influential that historians now call it Cahokia, America's first great city. At its height, Cahokia housed 20,000 to 30,000 people. A population size unmatched in North America until Philadelphia in the 1800s. And yet, you could drive past its ruins today and never realize that you're passing the remains of what was once the capital of a continental empire. This is where our story truly begins. How a civilization emerged. To understand how the Mississippian civilization rose, we need to start with its greatest resource, the Mississippi River System, a natural superhighway, a source of life. A transportation network stretching thousands of miles through fertile valleys. Long before European ships crossed the Atlantic, the Mississippians were already moving goods, ideas, and culture across the continent. But something extraordinary happened around 1050 CE, a moment archaeologists now call the Cahokian Big Bang. And no, that's not an exaggeration. Within a generation, Cahokia exploded from a modest village into a massive metropolis. The population skyrocketed. Construction intensified. The city expanded to over 6 square miles, with 120 earthen mounds, plazas, neighborhoods, and ceremonial zones. But how did a society with no metal tools, no draft animals, and no riding accomplish such rapid transformation? The answer lies in organization, belief, and powerful leadership. Number 1. Agricultural innovation. The Mississippians mastered the cultivation of maize, turning it into the engine of their population boom. Fields of corn stretched across the region, supporting a dense urban population. Number 2. Social hierarchy. The civilization developed a structured society led by powerful chiefs, figures believed to be descendants of the sun, with near divine authority. Number 3. Monumental construction. Thousands of laborious built enormous mounds by hand, basket load by basket load, creating towering earth pyramids that acted as temples, homes for elites, and political stages. Number 4. Long-distance trade. Cahokia became the beating heart of a massive trade network. Goods traveled from the Rocky Mountains, obsidian; Florida, shell beads; the Great Lakes, copper; the Gulf Coast, marine shells. This network didn't just move objects. It moved influence, making Cahokia the spiritual and economic center of an interconnected world. Number 5. A unifying belief system. Mississippian art, myths, and rituals point to a shared cosmology, a universe divided into the upper world, middle world, and underworld. Their mounds, plazas, and even city layouts reflect this cosmic order. This combination of spiritual belief, political power, and economic strength transformed the Mississippi Valley into the home of one of the most advanced civilizations on the continent. But the peak was yet to come. The empire at its height. At its zenith, the Mississippian civilization wasn't just large. It was extraordinary, a masterpiece of engineering, culture, and political organization. Number 1. The City of Mounds. Cahokia's skyline was dominated by Monk's Mound, a colossal earth pyramid covering more ground than the Great Pyramid of Giza, and standing nearly 10 stories high. Let that sink in. A pyramid larger than what Egypt built, created with nothing but human hands, dirt baskets, and determination. Atop this mound stood the Great Temple, the beating heart of the civilization. Number 2. The Woodhenge. To the west of the city, the Mississippians built Woodhenge, a massive circular arrangement of wooden posts used as a solar calendar. They tracked the solstices. They aligned their ceremonies with celestial movements. They understood astronomy far beyond what many imagine. Number 3. A thriving economy. Cahokia was a center of craft specialists, pottery production, shell bead workshops, copper artisans. Their goods spread across the continent, carrying the Cahokian influence with them. Number 4. Art and symbolism. Mississippian art exploded during the Golden Age. Stone statues, birdman figures, serpent imagery, ceremonial gorgets. These symbols reveal a complex spiritual world involving warriors, ancestors, and cosmic forces. Number 5. A powerful elite. Archaeological finds show that aristocrats lived elevated, literally, on the mounds, away from commoners. Rituals, feasts, and political gatherings took place in vast plazas where thousands could assemble. This wasn't a simple village culture. This was a continental power, rivaling the great civilizations of the world. But as with all empires, the Golden Age carried within it the seeds of dramatic tension, the seeds of mystery, and eventually, the seeds of collapse. Every great civilization faces moments that determine its fate. For the Mississippians, the signs of trouble began subtly. 1. Social tension. Archaeological evidence shows fortified walls around Cahokia, massive wooden stockades. Cities don't build walls unless they fear enemies. Whether these threats came from rival chiefdoms or internal unrest is still debated. 2. Resource strain. A booming population meant the environment was pushed to its limits. Deforestation, soil exhaustion, overhunting. The land that sustained Cahokia may have become its greatest vulnerability. 3. Climate shifts. Around 1200 CE, North America entered a period of unstable climate, droughts, floods, and unpredictable harvests. Crop failures would have shaken the foundations of the entire social order. 4. Ritual pressure. When societies are built on cosmic belief systems, natural disasters often become signs of divine displeasure. Leaders lose authority. People question the system. Old alliances break. 5. A mysterious mass burial. One of Cahokia's most chilling discoveries is Mound 72, a burial site containing the remains of wives, warriors, attendants, and sacrificial victims. Some see this as evidence of intense ritual activity. Others see it as signs of violent power struggles. Whatever the truth, the illusion of stability was cracking. And soon, the collapse would begin. Civilizations rarely die in a single moment. They fade, fracture, unravel, leaving behind silence where cities once roared with life. The Mississippian Civilization was no different. By the mid-1300s, Cahokia, the beating heart of the empire, was changing fast. Homes were abandoned. Trade routes dwindled. Mounds stood empty under the sun. And the wooden palisades, once symbols of strength, now seemed like the desperate walls of a city trying to hold itself together. What happened? Historians don't have a single answer, but the clues paint a cinematic collapse, a perfect storm of problems converging all at once. 1. Environmental breakdown. The Mississippi River, the very lifeline of the civilization, may have shifted course. Floods drowned crops. Droughts starved the fields. Forests stripped for construction never recovered. A society dependent on massive food production suddenly faced crippling shortages. 2. Internal conflict. Archaeological digs reveal neighborhoods burned down. Weapons scattered. Signs of fighting. Whether this violence came from rival factions, angry citizens, or invading tribes, we may never know. But Cahokia wasn't just weakening. It was bleeding. 3. Disease. Possible. Although no written records survive, it's possible that waves of disease, introduced through trade routes, ravaged populations long before Europeans arrived. 4. Spiritual collapse. When crops failed and chaos grew, the elite ruling class, believed to be descendants of the sun, lost authority. If your leaders claim cosmic power, but the world around you falls apart, how long until people stop believing? 5. Population dispersal. By 1400 CE, the great city of Cahokia was all but abandoned. Families packed their belongings. Priests left their temples. Warriors walked away from their posts. Whole communities disappeared into the forests, spreading across the southeast and midwest. A civilization that took 2,000 years to build vanished in less than 100. And yet, they didn't truly disappear, because the Mississippians live on, in ways most people never realize. The great North American mystery. Unlike the fall of Rome or the collapse of Egypt, the Mississippians left no written records, no chronicles, no final messages carved into stone. Their silence is what makes them so mysterious. But they didn't vanish into thin air. They transformed. Their descendant cultures continued as many of the tribal nations we know today, including Choctaw, Creek, Muskogee, Chickasaw, Natchez, Caddo, Seminole, Yuchi, Osage. These nations preserved fragments of Mississippian cosmology, art, and social structure. Even today, their traditions echo ancient rituals performed on the plazas of Cahokia. So the real mystery isn't what happened to them. It's how such a massive, powerful civilization could be forgotten for so long. And that answer lies in the centuries that followed. Colonization erased narratives. European explorers had no idea a great city once stood near present-day St. Louis. They saw the mounds but assumed they were natural hills or built by some lost race. 4 centuries, textbooks ignored them. 4 centuries, the Mississippians were erased from history. But not anymore. Today, archaeologists, indigenous communities, and storytellers around the world are uncovering the truth that should have been recognized long ago. North America had its own empire, just as grand, just as complex, and just as worthy of or as any civilization in world history. Why the Mississippians still matter. Here's the part that blows people's minds. We still walk in the footsteps of the Mississippians today. Urban planning, grid-style neighborhoods, central plazas, zoning. Cahokia did it long before modern cities. Agriculture. Maize cultivation techniques pioneered in this civilization shaped farming across the continent. Art and symbolism. The iconic motifs, the falcon warrior, the great serpent, the hand and eye design, still appear in Native American art today. Cultural influence. The Mississippian sphere influenced thousands of communities, spreading architectural styles, ceremonies, and political models. The mounds remain. Across the Midwest and Southeast, hundreds of Mississippian mounds still rise silently above the landscape, testaments to a civilization that refused to be forgotten. The greatest legacy? The reminder that history is far bigger than the textbooks tell us. That North America wasn't an empty continent waiting to be discovered. It was home to cities, nations, empires, and people who built wonders with nothing but vision, determination, and human hands. If this story opened your eyes to a forgotten chapter of North American history, imagine how many more are still waiting to be uncovered. So before you head out, white right pointing backhand index, tap the like button. It helps this kind of content reach more curious minds. White right pointing backhand index, comment below where in the world you're watching from. White right pointing backhand index, and make sure to subscribe to Dude Historian for more lost kingdoms, untold histories, and incredible stories the world almost left behind. This has been Dude Historian. And this was the empire North America forgot.